Hello, I'm Dave Speakman. Welcome back to my beginning guitar course. So this week we're actually going to look at power chords and how power chords are played, and we're going to learn to play the tune Eye of the Tiger. It's a cool little riff. We're just going to learn the main riff actually. So to play a power chord, what we're going to do actually to start with. So power chords are neither major nor minor. They comprise of simply the root and the fifth of the chord. If you don't really understand that, I mean, essentially what that means is that, say, if we start on the note F with an F power chord, F will be the first note, the root, and then F, G, A, B, C is the fifth, which is here. So this could be considered to be an F5 chord. And we can also put the root, another F at the top, and we could play the chord like that. People quite often find it difficult to play these power chords. And during the first lockdown, I was doing quite a lot of online teaching. And I came up with this sheet that took people through how to actually play these chords and get better results from it. So the first thing to think about is that each of these chords are rooted on string 6. Now I did a video about where the notes are on your guitar, which you can go and have a look at here if that interests you. Essentially we're going to start this tune on fret 8, and you can see on the tab it says 8, and I've not actually written any notation for this. Following it with the tab's okay. Just know that that is the note C. If you want to know why, please go and watch that other video, that'll explain that thoroughly for you. Okay, so we're just going to start by playing the notes on the bottom string of this riff. We're just going to use the first finger. So we're going... And that's the first thing that I would get together. Notice that each of these notes is actually in between a dot, if you've got dots on your guitar. So it's actually in between a fret marker. So we're on fret 8, 8, 6, 8, 8, 6, 8, 8, 6, 4. Cool. One of the main things of playing power chords is that you need to mute the strings that aren't being played. And this is how people like, the guys in Green Day and stuff, they run across the stage and they're playing these power chords and they never get any noise from their guitar. It's both so that you can kind of strum with a bit more kind of veracity and not having to think about it, but also because the guitar, when it's loud, will make all sorts of strange sounds and could potentially start to feed back on certain strings if the strings aren't being covered. So we're going to look at doing this just with that one note. So we're actually going to put the first finger against the string, but then we're essentially going to, it's a bit like barring, but the bar doesn't get pushed down. So it's lightly touching all of the strings. So essentially we've got string 6, fret 8, and then all of the others create a muted sound, what we call like a scratch sound. And you write that in tab or notation as an X. The X symbol can be used for lots of things. We've seen it previously for doing this, but it can also be for muting certain strings. It's one of those things, it's not really standardized. Okay, so we should be able to strum all of the strings, but only get that string ringing out. Now obviously we get that as part of the sound as well, and I'm not suggesting that when you play this that you do strum all the strings. You should try and just strum the strings that you're trying to play, but it's kind of a belt and braces approach. We don't strum the strings and we also mute them just in case you do strum them. Okay, so it's getting that riff together. Good. I hope that makes sense. So the next thing that I would suggest that we do is we learn this power chord. So we're going to play at fret 8, then 10, then 10, and the rest of the first finger is going to mute these other strings. So there's a little exercise here where we can just pick through making sure that we've got these notes. If you're barring down, getting a bar chord, then you're applying too much pressure. So it's kind of like a thing of almost like turning in this bit of your finger. So if the end of your finger can just come down a little bit, and then you rest the finger against the string, and then just push that in. And again, the first thing to do will be to just get it so that you can actually get a sound out of one string without the rest sounding, and then place the third and fourth finger above it, and that gives us our power chord. Hopefully that makes sense. If you do have any questions about this, do ask me in the comments below. I'll always answer any question that you ask. So the next thing that I'd like you to do is to pick through the notes of the power chord of the tune. Cool. And hopefully once you've got them to all make a nice clear sound, you could pick through the muted ones as well. Yeah, and just get that so that it's really clean and clear, and then start to try and get it to... So the other thing I would say is that we're kind of using the strings like tracks, that the fingers never leave the strings. So the fingers are staying on the strings like tracks. And you could just practice going between the first two chords to begin with. Yeah, and then you should be able to play it really. Cool. Hopefully you found that okay. I'm going to continue with some more power chord stuff coming up, so please do subscribe to the channel. Give the video a like, that really helps with the algorithm and whatnot. I've got some more reviews coming up of some equipment that I've bought recently. I've been building some pedals as well, I'm going to show you. I've got a new guitar amp that I'm building as well. Always trying to keep busy, you know. Hope everyone's okay. Like I say, do ask me a question if you've got any questions about anything. If there's anything that you think's missing from the course that you'd like me to cover, something, you know, a gap in your knowledge that you'd like me to fill in, just let me know. I'm more than happy to help. Thank you. Bye-bye.